Welcome back to Universe. I'm Andrew, and in this video I'm continuing my playthrough of RoboMon, which is currently crowdfunding on GameFound. Of course, this is a prototype, so anything and everything is subject to change. Also, I'm playing a full spoiler playthrough. So if that's not something you're interested in, just get a feel for what's going on, and then feel free to turn it off and maybe find some kind of preview video from someone else. Also, I've already been playing through the campaign, so if you want to start from the beginning, along with the tutorial, check out the tutorial playthrough for Copper Ridge. All the links will be in the description, but otherwise here we are in Port Platinum Northwest, along with the QR code that plays the music, so I'll just hit play. Technology is amazing nowadays. Port Platinum's warehouse district is home to several robotics companies that use the port as their distribution hub for the rest of the province and the rest of the world. The area also contains the docks where you can both fish and work on local ships that seem to always be hiring. At the docks, you'll often find a RoboMon Fighting League club anchored, so you can try to earn a patch if you're into that sort of thing. Some of the matches are televised, so just try not to embarrass yourself or the Ranger program. A patch? Is this where I get a patch? All right, let's go back down for a second. Here we have the search charts, so still no fishing pole. You won't be able to use that. Looks like I see 3 of these search icons, so we'll be able to roll on that. And a few doors I can break into and steal silver from. Our RoboMon finder is still offline, so no wild RoboMon battles or reprogramming today. So thematically, we're coming up from here, although mechanically speaking, the whole map is available. Might just get all the searching out of the way. Roll on those search charts we just looked at. There's a search icon here, one here, and one here. So I'll roll on this 3 times. With the D4, got a 4, which is a small repair kit, 3, which is a wire, and a 3, which is another wire. It is 9 wire, and I still don't know what to do with it. And 5 small repair kits. And then we're going to break into some doors. So there's one here and one here. We'll roll on that twice again with a D4. A 1 is 5 silver. And a 2 is also 5 silver. By getting 10 silver, I actually have a lot of silver tokens here still. These are my on-hand money, but overflow money can be kept on the character sheet where I've written 35. So I'm going to change that to 45. But I actually have 45 plus this, just 64 silver. Just need 2,936 more in order to afford that rowboat from the previous episode. All right, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk to this woman here right on the bridge, 2924. And that's a battle right off the bat. Set the mood with the battle music. And then programmer Eliza says, here's an update for you. You're about to crash. She has RoboMon 8 and 25. Ooh, it's been a while since we saw Saber Shock. This was our rival Tabitha's RoboMon in episode 2 of this series. And then also a Spider Bite. So I think I'll take the classic pairing out of retirement here based on the electric and nature opponents. I don't have the perfect typings, but I'm going to use Treadle and Pandal. Saber Shock has 1 armor. Spider Bite has 2. Highest speed is Saber Shock. Then Spider Bite, then Pandal, then Treadle. So hopefully they'll come to us. Roll up our 7 action dice first. Some movement, some armor, and a lot of special attack. So that's nice. Oh, and then let's see what Saber Shock wants to do. 2 means it wants to attack a water type or an air type. We don't have either of those, so just attack whatever's closest. Wonder if that accounts for this ungridded terrain. I think we'll say that Treadle is closest. It'll have to move around this long way here. And with the 2, it wants to use Shock, which has a range of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because ranges can be diagonal. So it needs to move to here. It has a speed of 6, and it has the Nimble ability, which means it can move diagonally, even though most RoboMon cannot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's as close as it needs to get for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 range to use Shock, which is an electric type attack. Fortunately, electric is actually disadvantaged against nature, so it's going to roll the red die, but it is 5 damage. That's a big attack. 5 damage with the red die, got a miss. So it actually does no damage instead of 5, which I prefer, incidentally. Next up is Spider Bite. We got a 1. With a 1, it wants to attack a water or earth type, which we don't have, so it'll attack whichever is closest. It's also going to be Treadle, and it wants to use Web, has a range of 6, moves 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It only needs to be here, so it'll only move 3 spaces out of its potential 4, and then use web, which is a nature attack. Means it'll roll the black modifier die. Only doing 1 damage, but it does have the potential to trap, so we'll also roll D4. If it's a 1, Treatle will be trapped. So 1 damage, -2, so no damage and no trap. All our enemy did was get closer, which is nice because Treatle is very slow. Pandal is up next. Pandal has a ranged 3 fireball, but it'd be great to attack Spider Bite with that because of the advantage. Pandal has a movement 3, so every movement symbol we move will let it move 3 spaces. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I think we'll stop there. And we're going to use 3 special attack dice, which means we get to use the 3rd value on the special attack that we're using. Special attack we're using is Fireball. The 3rd damage number is 6. Range 3, because of the 3 dots there. 1, 2, 3, we can hit Spider Bite. We do have to spend 2 out of Pandal's 11 energy, so it's got 9 left. But we're attacking for 6. And because fire is advantage against nature, we will roll the green modifier die. So that is 6 plus 3 is 9. -4 from 2 armor is 5, which actually is Spider Bite's health of 5. So that was a 1-shot. So good work, Pandal, coming out of retirement. He did not, however, save any movement for Treatle, which is a mistake because we definitely could have just used this attack token. So I'm going to retcon that. The enemies didn't get to do anything in between. I mean, we did roll the damage on Spider Bite. Other than that random outcome, I think it makes sense to have saved 1 because we know we didn't need more armor to save this token because both enemies had already gone. So I'm going to justify my retcon here. Use the action token of Pandal for 1 of its 2 movement dice. And actually, it doesn't matter because now if I use Treatle's speed is only 2, so if I use its token for 2 movement and this for 2 more, it still just puts it into range, but means it's out of dice now. So I think it still makes sense to move into melee though, because if we can trick Saber Shock into attacking Treatle with an electric type move, it'll have disadvantage. So we'll roll up round 2. Got a lot more movement this time and a lot less special attack. Saber Shock wants to use 4, which is to attack our lowest health RoboMon, which is Pandal, because it has 9 health but 3 damage. It only has 6, so Saber Shock attacking our lowest health RoboMon with a pounce. We move up to 5 extra spaces and jump over non-red terrain. That's not necessary, so it's really just going to be attacking for 3. Just needs to move into melee and attack for 3 with the black die, because it is an untyped attack. 3, 0, so just 3. And we block it. We have 1 armor here, and we'll go ahead and use the action token to defend that 1 extra damage, so we don't have to take any more. After Saber Shock is Pandal, and we'll let him use these 2 basic attack symbols to use Slam. So we only have 2 symbols, so we have to use the second number, which is 3. So he's attacking for 3 in melee, and an untyped attack again. So it's the black die. 3 minus 1 is 2, but that is enough to take out the armor at least. And then Treatle can go, it's already in melee. We'll just use the action token as a special attack symbol. And Fertilizer Bomb is nice because even with only 1 symbol, it does 4 damage. So it does cost 3 out of its 7 energy. So it's down to 4. We're going to go ahead and roll 4. And nature is advantaged against electric. So we get to roll the green die. So 4 plus 2 is 6. Saber Shock has 9 health, so it's got 3 left. And then we'll go on to the next round. Saber Shock gets to go first. No armor. Don't want to take any damage if we can avoid it. Saber Shock wants to do 3. Targeting air or water type, not applicable. So I think we get to just choose because we both are in melee, equidistant. It wants to use Shock, so we'll choose Treatle because it will have disadvantage. Shock has range 5, but that doesn't matter. It's just going to do 5 damage though. That's a lot. 5 damage with the red die. Minus 3 is 2, and we'll use the action token to block it. Just have to remember that we've used that this turn. Oh, and I forgot. Pandal's Slam actually does push 1 because of that symbol there. The push symbol and then the 1 dot means push 1. We should have pushed Saber Shock once. I wonder if we're allowed to push it diagonal. That is technically away. Although I think movement is supposed to be orthogonal, although Saber Shock has the ability to be nimble and move diagonally, but that probably doesn't apply. So it would have moved away, and then on its turn when it shocked, Treadle could hit it diagonally, and then it could hit Dreedle, so I think that makes sense. Now we'll go ahead and have Pandal go. We'll use a movement to move 3 spaces and go 1, 2, 3. And now we'll use Slam with 3 of these red dice. So that's going to cost 1 energy, putting Pandal down to 8. I guess that should be 7. I think I forgot to spend it last turn. With 3 dice, we're using the 3rd damage value, which is 5. With the black die, 5 minus 1 is 4. Push 1, but 4 damage is enough to take out Saber Shock. Alright, so let's come up around this way. This guy looks like he might want to battle as well. 33-24. Might just be getting our battles out of the way right up front. Young man with a blue mohawk leans up against the warehouse wall. Move along, kid, he says. Nothing to see here. If you know the password for RPU, turn to 6502. Well, I don't. I'm going to write that down in my personal notes. RPU password, along with a note to come back here if I ever find out what it is. Wonder if that's where the hatch battle is. Guess I'll go explore over here where it says junk. You approach the massive warehouse entrance. A giant graffiti that says junk catching your attention. Thinking little of it, you almost leave before you see another person approach the door and knock. There's a pause, and whispering, the door slides open just long enough for the person to go on through. You approach the door, waiting to learn more. You knock in the same way, and a little eye hole opens up. Who's there? You look at the 2 eyes for a long time before saying your name, and the person does not seem to care. Password. You can hear distant music inside and the sound of a crowd having a good time. And I need to make a charisma check. So pull out my character sheet. My charisma is 0. I'm going to roll 2d6 and add 0, except Hydron actually gives me a 1 charisma bonus. So I'll roll 2d6 and add 1. Hoping for a 7 to 9 at least. 6 and 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So we actually get a 10 plus on this one. Feeling especially charismatic today. Not knowing the password, you immediately call the guard a name. That's not my name, they say. You call them another name. Nope. You try again. No, not that either. She's already inside. Bingo. You insist that the person was the one with the password when you came in, and you got to get back to her. Guard sighs, just this once. Lets you in. Inside, you find a hidden concert venue complete with good company, fun music, and plenty of space to kick back and relax. You get a break from your journey, and so do your RoboMon. All your RoboMon regain all their hit points. Well, that's a nice bonus. So Regener and Pandal are back up to full. Still didn't actually get that password, though. Got a bunch of search icons coming back over this way. Might come down and check the docks before I go over to this boat, the Shockwave it's called. But let's talk to this guy here. He's fishing. Always on my search for a fishing pole, 3424. So he's willing to give me a fish finder. I don't know if that's the same as a fishing pole. He's willing to give me a fish finder if I bring a cool toy for his grandson's upcoming birthday. I'll draw card 6 from the adventure deck, which is a quest that says find a toy for the fisherman in Port Platinum to get a fish finder. So I'll go with my other quests. I need a lure, fish finder, a comic book, a microchip, and a power core. All right, let's explore this little dock here, 2423. So this boat seems to have been abandoned, but according to the nearby old man named Kenji, who apparently is wearing a name tag, this belonged to someone called Ol Pasco, who retired ages ago. There are 2 nets hanging off of the boat, however, that have taut strings and appear to have some junk caught in them. So let's do a strength check and see if I can get any of that junk for myself. Pandal has a +1. He can help me out. Otherwise, my strength is a 0, so it's just 2d6 plus 1. 6 and 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10, so same as charisma. I'm on a roll. And I managed to pull up a small reprogrammer and 2 batteries. Really hoping for a fishing pole to be stuck in there. Well, let's come around and talk to this sailor guy here, 2823. And it's a battle. Get the battle music going, and Sailor Owen says, that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach, it means you can wave victory goodbye. It's RoboMon number 15. A Finrid. Battled this guy before. I use my 2 RoboMon with nature type attacks, Treadle and Fruit Flyer. So he has 3 armor and 10 hit points. And let's roll up our action dice. And see, oh, not a lot of movement. A lot of attacking though. We're not going to be able to get there, it seems like. Speeds are 71, 39, and 28. So Fruit Flyer's up first with a movement of 3, but it can only move twice, which would be 6, and then Fruit Cannon has range 3. It does fly, so we can go over the water without problems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. We can just get there. So that's going to consume like all of Treadle's movement. We'll be able to move once. Or we can maybe lure the Finrid in toward us, but on a 3 or 4, which is 50% of the time, it's going to use Water Gun, which is range of 6. In which case it would move something like, it has swimming as well, so it can go straight into water without problems. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it'll hardly have to move. So I'm just going to take the opportunity to get the damage in I can, and Treadle's just going to have to catch up when possible. So on Fruit Flyer's turn, we're going to use the action token and this die to move 3 each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we'll use Fruit Cannon, which is a nature type attack with range 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to use 2 special action dice. So we're going to use the second damage number, which is 3. Costs 2 energy. And so it's going to do 3 damage. Grass is advantaged against water, so I'm going to roll the green modifier. 3 plus 2 is 5, unfortunately, because 2 plus 2 is actually the worst you can get on this die. And with 5 damage, 4 of it gets blocked by 2 of these armor tokens, which break. The third armor token holds because there's only 1 damage, and that's not enough to break it. So then on Finrid's turn, we'll roll a d4 to see what it wants to do, and that is a 3, which means it wants to use Water Gun. It wants to use it against a fire or earth type, which we don't have, so it'll just target the closest one. Has a range of 6, so it doesn't need to move. It's going to do 4 damage, but water is disadvantaged against nature. Oh, but I've been playing it. So this is, if you saw my previous video, you already know, but Fruit Flyer has a nature type border on this token here, but on its card, it actually says that it is an air type. Could be an air in the prototype, but I've been playing it as an air type RoboMon with nature type special attacks. So I'm not sure if it should be all nature or all air, but I'm playing it as it's printed on this card because the Versus version of the card also is an air type with nature attacks. Anyway, I'm playing it as an air type, which means Finrid is not disadvantaged. So it's going to be 4 damage with the black die. 0, so it's 4 damage. Fruit Flyer's already used its action token, so it can't block that. And it's just going to actually have to take 4 damage out of its 6 health. That was not what I wanted. And on Treadle's turn, all we can do is use its token to move 2. That puts us into round 2. Maybe I should have tried to get Finrid to come to us a little bit. Got some armor, which is nice, and 1 movement. A lot of basic action dice again. So this could be a reason to focus more on basic attacks for your team. So if you roll those symbols and don't use them, it's kind of a waste. But I think all I can really do is just use... I could use Mist Attack if I could move closer, which means Treadle's still not doing much. But I think it's worth it. Maybe we'll just have a 1v1 of Finrid and Fruit Flyer. So I'm going to use this movement to move up to 3 spaces. Oh, but I need 4 spaces. I need to be here to use Mist Attack. And I also still need at least 1 special attack symbol. So I can't use this token to move and special. So we're not going to move. We're just going to have to use this as a special attack. And we're just going to use Fruit Cannon again for 1 damage. Costs 2 energy, but at least we get the green die. So 1 plus 2 is 3. So this time we get to break the armor and deal 1 out of 10. Then Finrid is going to do a 3, which is another water gun. That is 4 damage with the black die. Plus 1 is 5 damage. But I can use all 3 of these armors that I rolled to block all of that, this time at least. And then Treadle can use its action token in this move to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slow and steady. Round 3. That's a lot more movement. Still very light. Oh, that's not all movement. That is rough because if I use this token as a special, I have no blocking ability. All I have is movement. I feel like if I move away, he'll be able to catch me. So weirdly enough, I'm going to use 1 to move in. Or actually, again, as we established, I have to move twice. Let's go to here. No, let's go to here. Use all 3 movement. That makes room for Treadle, and it puts us at a diagonal to be able to use Mist Attack. Again, if you want to look at Mist Attack, it's got these 4 diagonal adjacency spaces targeted. But we're not doing that now. We're just going to use basic attack for tackle for 1. Costs 1 energy. We're going to roll the black die and just chip away 1 plus 2 is 3. Not bad. That's up to 4 out of 10. Finrid gets to go next with a 4. That's another water gun. 4 damage with the black die against Fruit Flyer. The 6. That's way too much, so we can block 2 of it. That's why I saved this token, but Fruit Flyer still takes 4 damage, and it's going to be knocked out. We got to remove Fruit Flyer from the board, and we just healed all our damage too. We can send out another RoboMon next round, but let's see what Treadle can do. Now that he's got a ton of movement to work with, we can move up to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sure, doesn't matter. So we use 3 of those. We'll use this as a special attack to use Fertilizer Bomb, which costs 3 energy. It's going to do 4 damage with the green die. We got plus 2 is 6, which is just enough to finish off Finrid. So Treadle comes in clutch at the end, getting there just in time. That is another knockout. I think Fruit Flyer was the same RoboMon that got KO'd in a previous fight. So I've run out of energy on RoboMon before. That was the second time one actually got knocked out with damage. I think it was the Fruit Flyer twice. Our prize is 2 silver and a small repair kit, but I'm actually going to use that small repair kit right away and heal all damage from one RoboMon outside of battle and bring Fruit Flyer back up. Alright, so he was tough. That Finrid beat us up a bit. Go around to this lady hanging out on the dock, 1323. He said he would meet me here, she says, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. I know he was doing dangerous work he couldn't talk about, but today is our anniversary, and he always keeps his word. I hope nothing bad has happened. If you have a locket into a certain page, but don't have a locket, so that's another thing to write down. And the last thing here is going to be to go up and talk to this guy on the boat, the Shockwave. Port Platinum, RoboMon Fighting Club. Club leader, Waverly. To gain patches and move up the ranks in the RoboMon Fighting League, you'll need to defeat club leaders. If you lose a battle, you can always come back later to challenge them again. Well, what do we have here? You think you've got what it takes to surf the wave, but you're about to jump into the deep end and there's no lifeguard on duty. Turn to 4227. Hey, Future Andrew here. So the Waverly battle ended up being a feature in and of itself. So stay tuned for a part 2 of Port Platinum Northwest, where I actually follow through with the Waverly battle and get a bit of a cool prize that I've been looking forward to, but didn't know I would find it here and make use of it as well. So spoiler for that episode, or a bit of a teaser rather. But anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe so we can get more subscribers, and bye.